Once upon a time, there was a lady, and her mojo went missing. Hello everyone, welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy, and today I am going to share with you a little tip for taking these books that you can get from Dollar Tree, from dollar stores, just different kinds of books. Let me reach up here and just grab one. And they are just little books like this. You open them up and usually they are a book of quotes. This is actually kind of a Bible study book, but you can see how they're made. Just thin little books. Nice to hold in your hand, a good size. They don't take up much space, okay? And that's what we're gonna work with today. But I'm gonna show you a trick to make it twice as large. Impossible? No, not for us crafters, right? This is a book that I created back in the 1st of March at a Bible journaling retreat. One of the session instructors, one of my lovely friends, passed out some of these books that were Dollar Tree books so that we could make a mini journal. And what I did with my book made it twice as thick. Let me grab this one back down here and you can see the difference. And this book started out the same thickness as this book. See the difference here? Maybe if I separate them, you can see it a little better. From here to here versus here to here. And the way that the book is made is the secret. You will need to find a book that the cover is made and attached in this particular way. And I'm going to pause real quick so that you don't have to listen to the cellophane wrap coming off. All right, all books are not made the same. So you will need to look for a particular way of constructing the book when you go to purchase your book. You need to look for a book, and this book happened to come with an envelope. You need to look for a book whose cover is attached to the signature like this. You see how it dips in? You go straight across the cover, it comes out, goes across the spine, comes back in. I think this is called a gusset, and then back out the cover, the other cover. All right. A book that is made, let's see, like a golden book doesn't work. And I think that my only golden book that I own is in use right now. But when you hold the golden book up, you will see that it's not like this. It has all of the pages to this point are all glued together in a great big block that goes down the length of the spine. That's the part that's covered with the gold, usually. And it won't work for creating a cover with this type of spine. You need to make sure that it is a cover that has the gusset here that returns to the spine and the gusset here, and that the pages are not all fastened into a single block. Now you're going to want to open your book up. Did you hear that creak? You want to open up your book so that it will lay flat. If it came with an envelope, feel free to use it, but get it out of the way while you do this part. And you will need an X-Acto knife or even just a small pair of scissors. Kind of shocked the ladies at the retreat when I showed them how to do it using my thumbnail. I'm not going to do that right now. I shouldn't have done it then, but my scissors were all packed. And what you want to do, if you want to keep the, oh my goodness, if you want the book block to remain together, then you need to make sure you don't cut through the book block, okay? And you're going to very carefully cut down. You see where I'm cutting? I'm cutting, there's a space between the outer spine and the book block, and I am just cutting right down there. And this is probably a way most of you remove the book block from your covers that you're going to reuse anyway. And then you're going to do the same thing on the back. Just being very careful not to cut through. And I think I'm being too careful. I should just shove my fingernail in there, I guess. There we go. Maybe my courage is off running around with my mojo somewhere. And the book block comes out, but it comes out in such a way that you can still use this. Now, all you're gonna do is pull that. And you're not ripping it apart. You are simply separating what little bit might still be holding this together. And when you get that part done, you're gonna see that little strip right there? I'm gonna tear some of this extra paper out. There is a little strip of cardboard there, and then there's the cardboard from the covers here. And there is this little gap in between. That's going to be important. I went ahead and I reused the pages that were inside my book as part of my signatures. All of the pages that you see in here that are this green and white color, they are all pages that were in the book. Now, the pages in this book had numbers on them. This one does not, so I'm not going to have to go through on each page and make sure I cover up that number. If yours has numbers, it's pretty easy to go through and cover it up with stickers and with just gluing on pieces of paper, or like this one with washi tape. All kinds of ways to cover up those numbers if you need. But I wanted to use, like I said, I wanted to use the quotes that were in this book in my journal that I made. This was a memory journal from that retreat. This book was actually a card, and it was called Do More of What Makes You Happy. Not really wasn't a card, but was to be presented like a card. And I cannot remember if it came out around graduation time last year or something like that. But it's got all these little quotes in here that I really like. And so I am going to very carefully take apart my signatures. And this is a little bit more finicky because of the glue that is holding those signatures together and was kind of holding it on there, but not so much really on there. There was glue here, but I don't know that there was glue anywhere else. I think it was all on the signatures themselves. So I'm going to find where the signatures are. And in this case, they're a little glued together here. So all of my pages may not come apart in the way that I expect. However, they can still be used. I am simply looking for the very center of this signature, and here are strings. And so I think that my little tiny scissors are upstairs because I was doing some slow stitching the other night while we were watching TV. And so I am going to just snip carefully those strings. I do like that these pages are not numbered and that one quote does not go on to the next page from one page. And now you're going to hear my clock in the background. And we will simply pop the pages off of that string until we get down to the one that is glued a little weird. And again, this is a Dollar Tree book. Things aren't going to be perfect. You could spend $15 on a book and it's not going to be perfect, most likely. Okay, so now we are down to the pages that are glued together, and I'll show you a trick for using those later on. And I'm going to go through and find the center of this next signature, which is right there, and that one's only 2 pages. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these, and then we'll get back into how I make the journal. All right, so we are down to the pages that are all glued together. And I'm not sure the reason for this design. I know that these 3 pages here in the middle, this is one page that is folded in half. This is one page that is folded in half. And this is one page folded in half. And these 3 pages are each glued to each other down that side and down that side of their individual spines. And then this is one page that is glued around the whole thing. I'm not sure for the reason on that, but what I am going to do is I'm going to find this center page, because right here, by opening this up, I only have this center page and this outer page that I need to cut through. And I'm going to make this as flat as I possibly can. And I'm going to take some good heavy scissors that can actually handle the cut. Okay, and I'm going to cut down that line right down the middle. And usually when you're cutting, you don't want to let your scissors snip all the way to the end because it will tear the paper. Occasionally, I don't catch it in time and I get a little tear in the paper like I did in a couple of spots there. Now, you have these 2 parts. I'm going to pull these strings out that were from the binding out of each one, if I can get them. And if I can't get them to pull out like that one, then I will cut them off. It may mean that there was just enough glue on there that that string is not going to move. I would rather pull it out just so I didn't have the extra in there. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. Sometimes they'll come out, sometimes they won't. Okay, this book has been really held together quite tight with the glue. So I'm just going to have to go through and snip these off. And that's okay because we can cover them up with something else in the process. But do get them down as far as you can without cutting your paper any more than you have to. I need to go get my other scissors, but I just don't want to climb up the stairs. I think part of my problem with my motivation that's missing is that I'm still down here in the basement. And I seriously, back in January when we moved, thought that I would be in my studio by now. But we've just had delays upon delays upon delays. We finally got our paperwork back from the county allowing us to move forward with building. Still, it's not, we still don't have ground broke. We still haven't broken ground. Sorry. My motivation is, and lack thereof, is affecting my mouth, I think. And I just don't want to be down here in the basement. There's no sun. There's no light. It's cold. Even with my heater on that you could probably hear running over there ever so often. So, can't see my birds. I'll tell you, my husband got me a bird cam for Mother's Day, and I'm just so stinking excited to get it set up. Of course, I don't know how excited the birds are going to be around here when construction does start. So we'll find out. Okay, so I am going to treat these 2 pages. I see it is a gift, so I will have to cover that up with something. I'm going to treat these 2 pages as one. Even though it's 2 layers, that's 1 page. 2 layers, still 1 page, okay? And, whoops, I don't want to lose that. And so I am going to separate these. Which one's the one that said gift? We'll make that the front signature, because then I can put an Ex Libris or something in the front of it. And then I am just going to separate the pages that were already in the book into 2 piles. And there's not an even number of pages, and that's okay. Because what I am going to do now is grab, let's see, I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I want 4 pages in this one, and I want, it's probably going to be 5 on this one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I want 4 for each one. That doesn't sound right. That does not sound right. Oh yes, because I'm going to leave the center of that signature with the blue, and this one will have a different color in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to find some pages that I think will go along with these colors, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I brought over 3 paper packs that I thought would work. What I should have done was taken the cover with me to see, while I was in my craft supplies, which cover would work best. Or which, excuse me, not cover, which pack of papers would work best. And that one's pretty close. I can see that those match, and that yellow matches. I don't see so much of that pink. I think some of the colors in that go in there, some in there, most of those. So I think that was a good one to bring. And then I brought this one. Ooh, and that one just looks like it was made for it. And now that I look at it, I was trying to go by memory, and I don't think that goes with it at all. So we'll just put that one over there to the side. And I think we may just use everything out of this book instead of trying to mix and match the 2, because I know all of these will coordinate with each other. And I know that it coordinates with the cover of the book. All right, so I needed 4 and 4 on my papers, correct? Oh my goodness. I cannot tell you how many times I have to count things over and over again. Okay, so that's 1 page. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that one has 5, or has, that one is the center. So 4 pages there and then 4 pages here. So I need 8 pages. All right. So I am going to look through and see which ones I like the best to go with the cover. So I'm going to set the cover right here. It says, do more of what makes you happy. So that sentiment may actually be a good one to focus on as well. I like that. It's nice and happy. These are all one-sided sheets as well. So I will need to do something on the back of it. Maybe a little stamp or something just so it's not a stark white sheet. This page would be hard to use, although these would be good little cutouts to put in pockets. Not feeling the stars. Or that. Kind of like that one. Because it's talking about I just called to say, and let's get together, and hugs, and heartfelt, and call me, and keep in touch, and friends. I think I'll use that one. And just because I tear it out doesn't mean it has to go in the book. It's not how that works. It's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. Okay, probably not the glasses either. Probably not those cards either. I think this is fun. I'm not sure how many people know what it is, but I think it's fun, so it's going to come out. I know what these are. Anybody else remember listening to the Top 40 on Saturday morning trying to catch your favorite song? And I think that purple's the wrong purple, so we will not go with that purple. This purple's okay because it's surrounded by the pink that does go. But for me, I'm just not sure that would be a good choice. More cards. There's a lot of cards in this particular pack. Kind of like that pink, but I've already got that pink, and I've already got 2 really busy pages. Still keeping that dot in the back of my head. Okay, I like that. Ooh, I like that one a lot. That's going in. I'll go ahead and tear this one out. And then I'll get the polka dots. Maybe I'll tear this one out. I am not feeling the plaid either. It's cute. I'm just not feeling it with this. I like the hearts definitely. Oh, we'll be doing the arrows too, because I think we need just a little black and white to tone down the colors. This is one of the reasons I even bought this paper pad, was that page with the cameras. I already have a plan for it, so it's not going to be used. This will be used. And there's the polka dots again, so I can actually go ahead and pull that off now. And I bet that that means either I have never used anything out of this book, or that's the second time through. So let me look and see if there's anything back here. Oh, yes, I have used that one. That may be the only, nope, I see another one I've used. I've used that one. And I've used that one. All right, so it's not just been sitting on my shelf not being used. I have used 3 pages out of it. And that is an Amy Tangerine paper pack. The Sweet Life, I think, is what that one's called. Better Together. Better Together. All right, so I wonder how many pages we have. I didn't even count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my goodness, we needed 8 pages and we got 8 pages. I love it when a plan comes together. All right, so I am going to just measure this from here to here and there to there, and I'm going to cut all these pages down, and I'll be right back. All right, so I have cut all of my pages to 11 by 6 1/4. These are my scraps, and what scraps I don't use in this journal, I have plans for another journal, because I have been inspired by my friend Kara to make a journal using a bunch of rainbow things that she has provided. So I am going to make a promise journal. So what I don't use of this will go into that journal. So you may see these again. All right, now we need to fold these, and I don't want them all to open up on the pattern and then you turn the page and there's the white. I think that's boring, and I think one of my pages is not like the others. I think I mismeasured on this page, so I am going to cut that real quick. I did. I was off by 1/4 inch. I don't know how that happened, but it happens. Now, what I'm going to do is take each page and I'm going to alternate which one is going to have the print on the inside of the fold and which one's going to have the print on the outside of the fold. So this one is going to be inside. And right now it doesn't matter which one it is. If you have one when you're making a journal that you want to be on the outside, put it on the outside. If you want to put them all on the outside, put them all on the outside. I'm not telling you what to do. I am telling you what I'm going to do, and that's it. And so this one I'm going to put the yellow on the outside. I don't even know if I'm moving my background paper or not, because I forgot to tape it down to keep me in the middle of the frame, but I hope that you can see what I'm doing. I will try to edit it so that you are seeing what I'm doing, as long as I'm capturing it on the camera in the first place. I can take care of that. Now, if I'm way off, there's not much I can do about it afterwards, except for reshoot the video. You know, it has been a while since I've made a video, and I'm feeling like I'm kind of out of practice. It's been a while since I've actually made anything. I did start a new project for a 3rd grandchild. I have another grandson who has requested a journal for his birthday, and because they watch they watch my videos because I'm Grammy. I don't know how interested they are, other than the fact that they're watching me. It's probably the only thing. And so I have started on that, but I really haven't done much craftiness type things. And like I said earlier, I kind of lost my motivation, kind of lost my mojo. But I think part of it is I kind of got distracted by life too. Plus, it's been a little brighter outside, so I got my bird feeders set up and full, and I've been watching my birds and my squirrels. And I went and bought a whole bunch of flowers and then couldn't plant anything. My plans were, I bought the flowers on a Friday. My plans were to plant them on Saturday. And we had a nice frost. And so my plants have been living in the garage since then. So that didn't help my mood any at all. And I've just been still trying to unpack, and still in the basement. Like I said, I don't like being down here, so that doesn't help. I like being down here when we're having a gathering. I don't like working down here. All right, the next step that I am going to do, I don't like to say we because you may not be doing this. You may just be watching and seeing what that crazy woman's doing now. I want this to be first. I don't know why, but maybe because it says hello, hey there, you know, keep in touch, P.S. I love you, sending my love, thinking of you, all of those things. I think I want that to be the first of the outside pages to go in. And so I don't know what order these are in. I think I will mix them up just a little bit just in case you know, let's see, I've got two prints next to each other now, I think. No, I don't. I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna do this and I'll yank whatever I need. So the next one, I want to alternate cheeks. How did cheeks get, oh, it says cheers. Oh my goodness. Did anybody else see cheeks in that? I bet you do now. Cheers. Cheers. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's move on. Cheeks. It's just a funky R. I mean, why would you have little, 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 and then a capital? Okay, anyway. And so there's this page. We'll turn this page. And for this one, I need a picture that's on the inside. Which one did I grab? Oh, the X's and O's. I like that. Doesn't that look good together? Okay. And then we'll turn the page. I'll make sure. Yes, I have the O's right side up. I was staring at it and staring at it. Couldn't tell if they were right side up or not. Turn the page. And I need a white, and that's black and white. After all that color, that's probably a good one to be right there. And then is this the center page? Nope, still one more, so I need another one that's color on the outside. Let's go with the yellow. Oh, and I already have an idea because this quote says, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. There's going to be at least one smiley face show up on that page. I'll just tell you right now, that's what's going to happen. And then here is the center of our signature. And then we'll do the same thing with the second half. Kind of the same thing. Okay, so there is the first page that's connected together. And I have equal numbers, so whichever one I start with is the one I'll finish with, and whichever one I want to open in the middle will be the center of the signature. Do I want this in the middle? Or do I want the dots in the middle? Middle, middle. I think I want the dots in the middle. So we'll keep that in mind. So I need a print. Is that open right? Sorry, I'm second guessing myself so much and it's kind of irritating me. So I'm going to put a print on the outside, put the page on the inside, print on the inside, the page, outside, book page, and inside with the party on the inside. There we go. All right, so here are going to be my two signatures. And you can see there's a little creep going on, but I don't think that there's enough there that it bothers me. We'll see after I get it put in there if I feel the need to trim it off. Now, when we sew these in here, this is part of the trick to making it wide enough. We're not going to sew the signatures through that cardboard strip there. We're going to sew it through this part here, which is just this shiny cover. That's all it is. So we're going to have to reinforce this. And I reinforced this one in two ways. I put on the very inside, I put a piece of cardstock all the way across from here. Okay, you get back in there to Where did I put it? Oh, no, I didn't. I just put cardstock there. What I did in the center of this to strengthen it was the cardstock. Wait a second. What's going on here? I must have not taken the cardstock over far enough. Look, I have a little tear right there already. I should have taken the cardstock all the way over to here to strengthen the inside portion, because I put cardstock over to, I can see it right about there. Should have taken it farther. And then that made the spine stronger on that side. And then on this side, I have 2 layers of dotted Swiss that I glued on. This is a piece of patterned paper where I covered up the back side of the book. I have this upside down. This was a piece of patterned paper, and I just covered up the whole back side of the book. And then I glued on the dotted Swiss. I did not glue the ribbon on until after sewing in my signatures. Okay, so to strengthen this cover, because we're going to be sewing in here, not through that cardstock, we need a piece of fabric or a strong piece of paper, or if you have a little piece of Tyvek, you're welcome to use that. If you have bookbinding tape, whatever it is that you want to use, you want to use it on both, or use something on both the inside and the outside. So let's figure out what I'm going to use, and I'll be right back because I definitely want it to go with this. All right, I found these 2 things, and I'm going to use this to cover up these things on the back. I'm probably not going to cover the whole back like I did on this one. I'm going to leave just a little of that rainbow showing that's all over the front. And then look how fabulously this wired ribbon goes with both that and this cover. So I'll be using this as well. And I'm going to use this on the inside here. So I'm going to cut it at least that big. And that would be, let's see, where did my ruler go? Here's one. I need it to be at least 3 inches. I think, yeah, I think I want it to be 4. I think I want it to be 4 inches. And then height-wise, I need to go all the way up to here, and that is going to be 6 1/4. The same as I cut the papers. So I'm going to cut that down real quick. All right, now I am going to measure. Actually, the first thing I'm going to do is we need to go back to this cover and reinforce where our bend is going to be so that we've got that thicker spine. And you can see right here, there's an indentation, and you can see it on this side probably even easier. We're going to take and fold our book. You can see the indentation even better now because it's a more of a crisp bend. And we're going to just pinch and pinch and pinch because we want it to remember that fold, not the previous fold. Paper has memory. Glue has memory. Some fabrics have memory. And you want it to be remembering things the way you want. And so we're going to do the same thing. What I'm doing is I'm putting my thumbs on the bottom of the cover, and I'm putting my fingers down near where that original little bit of a pinch crease was, because it was toward the outside. Let me see, I have another book right here. Where we're folding right now is where the book used to fold out this way, and we want it to fold the opposite direction now. So we're going to put our fingers down here near that crease. We've got our thumbs underneath, and we're going to push down as we fold up. And we're just going to push and pinch and fold and push and pinch and fold. And when we open it up, instead of going that way like it did at first, can you see that little bitty piece there? We want it to go this way, which doubles the spine. All right, and we've done that, and so now I'm going to glue this in the center. I was a little shy on that, and I'm just eyeballing it. I'm gonna take my bone folder so that I can kind of mark where that crease is that we were just working on, because I also want this paper to, help this paper remember that crease. So I'm going to fold the paper on that crease. Do that on the other side. And that way, when the book closes, the paper isn't fighting it, okay? Helps if I've got it lined up when I'm trying to show you that, so that it's not fighting me on the example. There, I don't have it exactly lined up because I'm not usually going at it from that direction. So my thumbs don't want to work. They don't have that memory. All right. So I'm going to take my, I'm not sure if this is Fabri-Tac or Fabri-Fix or a 3-in-1 in this bottle. This is one of those Sugar Belle bottles. But it's one of those 3 glues, which is my favorite glue to use for almost every reason in my journal making and in a lot of my art making, because it holds pretty much everything I want it to hold. All right, turn the paper upside down, and I'm going to line it up so that those creases that I put in the paper are lined up with the creases in the book. And I only put glue along that middle because I may need to adjust it real quick, because I'm going to fold this cover the way I had it when we were working on the memory. And then I'm going to fold it the other way as well, because it probably is going to need to shift just a little bit. Did I glued that upside down. Whoops. Okay, see, bonus to that Fabri-Tac, it doesn't dry super fast. So if you put your paper in upside down, if you have a directional paper, you've got time to fix your flub. I'm going to figure that probably white glue or anything else like that, you would have had time to fix your flub. It's just that I used this and flubbed. Okay, let's try this again. Now, there we go. Working that memory on that fold and working the memory on that fold. And there we go. It now matches those 2 folds, and I can go ahead and glue this part down. I don't know yet how I'm going to cover the inside, if I'm going to put a pocket over here or what, but I do know that I just want this to be down. So it may not even show except for between the 2 signatures when the book is opened, but that's all right. I'm more concerned with the sturdiness of the spine than I am with the cuteness of the paper, although the paper is super cute. All right, so now we've got, look at that, our double thick spine. And that was pretty easy. You went through all of that just to see this double thick spine, I believe. And now we're going to put the first layer of fabric back here. And this is a wired ribbon, so I'm going to pull the wire out because it really doesn't need to have the wire in it. It doesn't hurt to have the wire in it, but it's not necessary. And I tend to save the wire that I pull out because I use it in other things. I use it for making charms and things like that. And it's real easy to pull out. You just get a start and you pull. Get a start and you pull. And now it's no longer wired ribbon. Now I need to decide if I want to, where I want this to be, and I need to have that O showing through, so it's got to be like, whew, right there on the edge. Before I put the ribbon down, I'm going to put my back cover paper on. And I'm trying to decide, since that is right on the edge, if I need my back cover paper to come all the way over to here, just in case. I think I do. And that one's not big enough, so I will have to cut it out of this. No, I don't think I'll have to. I think I can just glue that on there and I think it will be good. All I need to do is cut my paper here to the correct size. And I want it to go from there to about the same spot. Well, it looks like it's going to be 6 1/4 again. Wow. By, let's see, what's the furthest spot over on this? Furthest spot over is that one. So let's measure from there. And that one can be at 5. So 6 1/4 by 5 is what I need. So I'm going to cut this. I'll be right back. All right, so I have cut this. Yes, it works. Yay! All right, and I am just going to glue that. I'm not going to worry about distressing or doing anything with the edges because it's just a very thin white line, if a white line at all shows. And with the way that this book is leaning with the colors and the brightness and the happy cheery, I don't think that the white, like I said, what minimal amount of white would show is going to be such a bad thing. So we're just not going to bother it. Let's make sure I put it right side up. And center. Although it won't matter if it's centered, really, because this side's going to be covered up, so I can actually scoot it out to where that edge matches the dimensions of the other edges, if I want, because part of this is going to be covered. All right, I think that looks pretty cool. Now, this ribbon, if I just put the glue on there and then stick the ribbon on it, it's going to show through. Granted, part of it's going to show anyway, or be covered up anyway, but I don't really want to have sloppy, sticky, yucky blobs anywhere. Even if I cover it up later, I know it's there, and sometimes you can feel it even if you can't see it. So I take my finger and I smear out my Fabrifix. And then I will take this and I will just line it up just as close to that O as I can get it. The title is not always so far over to the side, but the people making the book didn't know you were going to do this with it either. So they didn't have to take that into account. And so now I'm going to finish gluing this down over here, and I'll do the same thing. I will take my finger and smooth it out so I don't have glops, because part of this it might show through. And I don't want to give myself more work by having to go back and trying to fix something that I could have done in a way that would make it smoother in the first place. And my clock's going off again, so I've actually been at this for a while. Now we're going to do the same thing here. And we can cut this off or fold it under. I wouldn't suggest folding it under right here because it will impact your binding of your journal. So I am just going to leave it as is. Get my glue down. This is fun because my edge of my ribbon actually lines up with the edge of my page that's inside the book, and I didn't plan it that way. I mean, see, look, lines up just perfectly. And we'll do the same thing up here. Let's see, where does the, oop, that's not cut very straight, and I would prefer that it was a little straighter. It doesn't have to be perfect, but a little straighter would be nice. There we go. I love these Tim Holtz Tonic Studio scissors. They cut through everything like butter. So, okay. I shouldn't say that because I shouldn't use that accent because it's not me. And I just sound dumb when I say it. But I already said it, and so you already heard me, and now you can say, yes, Tommy, don't ever say that. There we go. And you can see there's no splodges of glue seeping through the fabric. It's nice, clean look. All right, now I am not going to teach you in this video how to sew in a signature, but what I wanted to show you was how to redo the cover in order to have the spine be double the thickness that it started, and that's what we have. You will be sewing into the gusset what was previously the gusset on there, and so your two signatures will go in just like that. Now at this point I can see that I need to probably trim that, and I'm actually going to wait until after the book is together to trim it, because I may end up doing some trim around the edge of the cover that makes me not have to mess with that. And it wouldn't bother me if it didn't extend beyond the cover. So if the cover's bigger, then I'm good. I will go ahead and show you where to poke your holes, or at least where I'm going to poke mine. And for that I need a ruler and my awl. And this is from Clover. This awl is. I believe I got it in a set of tools when I ordered something. All right, so this stands at 6.5, And so we are going to go at 3 1/4 for the center. And remember, I want to go right there in that crease. So where the book folds, I want to go just under that, or just inside of that. So at 3 1/4, I will punch my hole. And it did go through the fabric, which is what I wanted to happen. And then this part is up to you on where you want your other holes to go. I almost always go 2 inches away, but from the center, but sometimes I will go further, especially if I want to catch this fabric that's right here and right up here, which means I'm going to go a lot closer to the edges of the spine. So I'm just going to come in a 1/2 inch on each end for that. Now, if I thought that was too far apart, I could always do a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. Sorry about my head. Trying to see what I'm doing. And so there's that one. And then I'm going to measure in a 1/2 inch from the edge on this one. And come through. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to do my memory fold. So everything is all happy and doing it at the same time in the same place. And there's my 3 1/4. And then I'm going to come in 1/2 inch. And, whoops, make sure your ruler is straight. You'll want to check every time you move your tool, your book, anything, that your ruler is still in place and lined up. Because if it's not, you're going to have trouble getting your signatures to go in the way you want them to. All right, and so I've got my holes all the way through, and I will sew in my signatures. And I will have a journal that is double the thickness, still using the pages from the inside of the book, all the sentiments and everything that go inside of it. All of those things are still in there. But I can also go back and add pockets and add journaling and add flips and tucks and stickers and all of that. If you want to, whoops, I need to glue that cloud down. I threw a coffee filter in there. Coffee was a really big part of our our group. I threw in some coloring pages and some notebook pages and some of the things from different lessons that we did. And you can do whatever you want with this to make it your own personal memory or gift or whatever you want to do with it. So I will sew in the signatures. I will show you that. And then at some point, I'll come back and do a flip through after I've done pockets and everything in it. I'm just not going to do that right now. So thank you for joining me. And I don't think I want to leave that yet. I think I want to pause the video and sew the journal. Okay, so here we are with the signature sewn in. I had some multicolored waxed thread that went perfectly. I was excited about that. And so I left some long tails so I could incorporate some more of that color in there. And I just did a simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch right here. This color on the thread actually is the same color as this. So it kind of hides itself, but you can see the green. And it's just running right down there. And I'm debating, because it does look really good, I may not even come back and cover those up because I do like the way that that looks. And here is what it looks like from the top. And because it's still stiff, so it wants to do that. After a little while, it'll calm down. But here are the 2 signatures on the inside. And you now have a double thickness book without, you haven't destroyed the cover, you haven't added any extension to the cover, you've simply used the cover by spreading it out a little bit further. And you have gotten double the book because we added double the pages. I do know what I'm doing with this. I am going to go back and add things. I have a recipient in mind. I will cover up this part that was glued to the original cover, or originally glued to the cover. I will cover that up on both sides. I will go through and I will add things. I will add some dangles to my signature ties. See, doesn't that just look so happy? I really like it. So there you go. Double the spine without adding anything really to it to make it bigger, and doubling the number of pages. Very simply done. Thank you for joining me today. And when I get this done, I will do a flip through. I may have already said that 3 or 4 times. Along with my motivation, my mind seems to be elsewhere as well. And so I appreciate you putting up with all that from me today. I will do a flip through when this is done. That's probably the 5th time I've said it. And I just want to remind you to be kind always. Bye.